A bomb that had never been used in combat. A bomber that flew for 37 hours straight. 3 nuclear facilities, 1 coordinated strike, 0 aircraft lost. This was Operation Midnight Hammer, June 2025. And these are the 6 weapons that made it happen. Modern militaries don't leave their most valuable assets on the surface. Command centers, weapons labs, nuclear facilities, they bury them deep underground, inside mountains, under 60 meters of solid rock. Regular bombs explode on impact. They can't reach targets sitting that far down. For decades, the only option against such targets was a nuclear weapon. The GBU-57 was built to change that. This bomb is not designed to explode when it hits the ground. It's designed to survive the impact and keep going. Engineers call it a kinetic energy penetrator. When released from a B-2 at high altitude, it accelerates past the speed of sound before it ever reaches the surface. At impact, it delivers around 800 megajoules of kinetic energy, equivalent to a Boeing 747 landing at 170 miles per hour. To survive that kind of force, the casing is made of hardened Eglin steel, engineered to withstand forces exceeding 10,000 Gs. The bomb weighs 30,000 pounds and measures 20.5 feet long. The weight of a city bus, compressed into a narrow cylinder. The nose is shaped into a pointed ogive, focusing all that force onto a single point for maximum penetration. But the real innovation is inside. The large penetrator smart fuse stays active as the bomb drills through earth and concrete. It counts the layers the bomb passes through, and when it enters an open space, a tunnel, a chamber, an underground room, it detects the change. Only then does it detonate. The explosion happens inside the target, not above it. Each bomb can also be individually programmed. Different depths and different structures require different detonation timings. Now the limits. The Air Force states the GBU-57 can penetrate 200 feet of earth around 60 meters before stopping. Against reinforced concrete, around 18 meters. But against harder concrete, that number drops to just 2.4 meters. Penetration depth depends heavily on the material. Some targets may require multiple bombs hitting the exact same point. Only one aircraft in the world can carry it, the B-2 Spirit, with 2 bombs per mission. The United States is estimated to own around 20 of these weapons. Each unit reportedly costs tens of millions of dollars. Before June 2025, the GBU-57 had never been used in combat. Tested many times, held in storage for 14 years. During Operation Midnight Hammer, 14 were dropped, 12 hit the Fordo plant, 2 hit the Natanz facility. Fordo is estimated to sit 80 to 90 meters beneath a mountain. The full effectiveness of the strike remains debated by analysts, but the weapon performed as designed. This is one of the only non-nuclear weapons on Earth capable of reaching deeply buried, strategic targets. But a 15-ton bomb can't fly itself. It needs a delivery system no other country possesses. Enemy radar can detect a conventional bomber from hundreds of miles away, giving defenders time to scramble fighters, activate missiles, and prepare to strike deep inside hostile territory. The aircraft itself has to be invisible. The B-2 Spirit was built to solve that exact problem. It has no tail, no traditional fuselage. It's a single curved wing with 4 General Electric turbofan engines embedded inside it. Every surface is angled to reflect radar signals away from the source. Its skin is coated with radar-absorbing materials. The exact composition remains classified by the Pentagon. Against enemy sensors, it nearly disappears. The B-2 measures 69 feet in length. Its wingspan stretches 172 feet across, nearly half a football field. It cruises at 630 miles per hour, subsonic, because speed was traded for stealth. Unrefueled range is 6,000 nautical miles, with one aerial refueling that extends to 10,000. Its service ceiling is 50,000 feet, roughly 15 kilometers above the Earth. On long missions, the aircraft must refuel every 6 hours, requiring precise formation flying with a tanker in the dark, inside just 2 pilots, sharing a 2.5 square foot cockpit, a microwave, a toilet, a thin mattress. That's what 37 hours in the air actually looks like. The original plan was to build 132 of these bombers. Then the Cold War ended. Only 21 were ever produced. 2 have been lost to accidents over the decades. Today, 19 remain in service. Each costs approximately $2.1 billion, one of the most expensive military aircraft ever built. On the night of the 21st of June 2025, 7 B-2s departed Whiteman Air Force Base. Destination: Iran, more than 7,000 miles away. They flew east across the Atlantic, refueling in mid-air multiple times. The entire round trip took 37 hours. This was the second longest B-2 mission in the history. The longest was a 4-hour flight to Afghanistan after 9/11. Meanwhile, other B-2s flew west toward Guam as decoys, a deliberate move to mislead enemy attention. According to General Dan Kane, Iran's air defenses did not appear to detect the bombers. No Iranian fighters were launched. No missiles were fired at the strike package. The B-2 is the only aircraft in the world certified to carry the GBU-57. Without it, this mission doesn't happen. It is scheduled to remain in service until around 2032, when it will be gradually replaced by the next generation B-21 Raider. But the B-2 was not the only platform striking that night. A second wave of firepower came from beneath the sea. Not every target requires a bomber to fly into enemy airspace. Sometimes, the most effective strike comes from hundreds of miles away from a ship or a submarine that never enters the threat zone at all. After launch, the Tomahawk's wings and air intake unfold. A small turbofan engine takes over, flying the missile toward its target. It stays low, just 30 to 50 meters above the ground, hugging the terrain to stay below enemy radar. 3 guidance systems work simultaneously: GPS, inertial navigation, and digital terrain mapping. In the final seconds, onboard sensors compare the target area to stored imagery, allowing the missile to strike within 10 meters of its aim point, from over 1,000 miles away. The Tomahawk travels at roughly 550 miles per hour and can reach targets up to 1,500 miles. From its launch point, it carries a 1,000-pound warhead for surface targets, with specialized variants capable of dispensing submunitions over wider areas. Cost per unit, around $2 million. Cheap compared to the aircraft it replaces. One Ohio-class submarine was already positioned in the Middle East. Open source reports identified it as the USS Georgia. 30 Tomahawks were launched against the Isfahan nuclear facility, flying across the Gulf at low altitude, arriving after the B-2 bombers had already struck. Since 1991, American forces have fired over 2,300 Tomahawks in combat. A single Ohio-class submarine can carry up to 154 of them at once. 1 vessel, 1 crew. The firepower of a full fleet. And newer Block 5 variants now include 2-way satellite links, allowing commanders to change the target entirely mid-flight. But bombs and missiles can't fly blind into defended airspace. Something had to clear the sky before they arrived. Even stealth bombers need protection in hostile airspace. Someone has to go in first clear the radar, suppress the defenses, and hold the door open. The F-35A Lightning II is a stealth multi-role fighter built by Lockheed Martin. It combines advanced radar, infrared sensors, and electronic signal data, all in real time. It can strike ground targets and engage air threats from the same airframe in a single stealth package. Its primary mission in complex operations is called seed suppression of enemy air defenses, kicking the door down. Flying alongside it, the F-22 Raptor, a dedicated air superiority fighter built specifically for air-to-air combat. It can cruise at Mach 1.5 or higher without afterburners, a capability called supercruise. Most fighters burn extra fuel just to reach that speed. The F-22 does it in cruise. Production ended in 2011. Only 195 were ever built, and no nation is allowed to purchase it, not even American allies. On the 22nd of June 2025, F-35S from the 388th Fighter Wing entered Iran first. They were the first American aircraft to cross the border. Their mission: find and destroy Iranian surface-to-air missile sites. Approximately 30 munitions were fired against radar installations. The F-22 Raptors flew alongside them, providing air cover in case Iranian fighters attempted to intercept. No Iranian fighter ever took off. The F-22S never needed to fire a single shot. After the B-2 bombers released their weapons, the F-35S escorted them out the last American aircraft to leave Iranian airspace. Both platforms will remain at the core of American air power for decades to come. But what exactly hit those radar sites? The F-35S fired a specific weapon built for exactly that job. Enemy radar is the eye of an air defense system. Without it, surface-to-air missiles go blind. The challenge for any attacker is to destroy that eye before the strike package arrives. The AGM-88 HARM high-speed anti-radiation missile was built specifically for this job. It listens for radar signals. The moment it detects a hostile emission, it locks on and follows that signal directly to its source. At speeds exceeding Mach 2, the HARM closes fast. Radar operators often have seconds, if that, to react. And if the target radar shuts down mid-flight, newer variants use GPS to strike the last known location. You can't escape by turning it off. The HARM measures 13.7 feet long and 10 inches in diameter. It has been in service since the first problem, 1980s, carried by aircraft like the F-16, F/A-18, and the EA-18G Growler with newer variants, now being integrated into the F-35. Its warhead contains thousands of tungsten fragments, shredding antennas and nearby equipment on detonation. During the Iran strike, around 30 suppression weapons were fired against Iranian air defense installations, clearing the corridor for the B-2 bombers and their escorts. Officials have not confirmed the exact variant used, but the HARM family remains the primary weapon for this type of mission. Without it, every stealth aircraft in that package faces a far harder night. But when America strikes, the enemy strikes back. The final weapon on this list isn't designed to attack. It's designed to stop what comes next. Defending American bases overseas requires systems capable of intercepting ballistic missiles mid-flight before they reach the ground. The MIM-104 Patriot is the primary mobile air defense system of the U.S. Army in service. Since 1984, operated by dozens of allied nations worldwide, its most advanced interceptor is the PAC-3 MSE, designed specifically to destroy incoming ballistic missiles using hit-to-kill technology. No explosive warhead, it destroys the threat by slamming into it at extreme velocity. A small lethality enhancer inside adds to the damage at the exact moment of collision. The impact itself is the weapon. THAAD Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, manufactured by Lockheed Martin, operates at a higher layer. It intercepts ballistic missiles, both inside and outside atmosphere, giving defenders a second chance if the first interceptor misses. Each THAAD, the battery, includes 6 launchers, 48 interceptors, and a radar capable of detecting targets at ranges up to 3,000 kilometers. Same principle as Patriot hit-to-kill, relying on the energy of impact rather than an explosive warhead. Together, Patriot and THAAD form a layered defense. THAAD engages threats high in the free atmosphere. Patriot handles anything that gets through. This combination is deployed at key U.S. bases across the Middle East, designed to defeat even coordinated missile attacks. On the 23rd of June, 2025, one day after the strikes, Iran launched ballistic missiles at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. Direct retaliation for the attack on its nuclear facilities. U.S. Patriot batteries launched a large salvo of interceptors. General Dan Kane later described it as the largest Patriot engagement in American military history. No U.S. casualties were reported. The Patriot interceptors were credited with blocking most of the incoming missiles. Six weapons, one coordinated mission, a bunker buster, a stealth bomber, a cruise missile, two fighters, an anti-radar weapon, and an air defense system. Each was designed for a specific problem. Each had been in development for decades, and on one night in June 2025, they worked together exactly as intended. This is how modern American military power actually operates. Not one weapon, a combination of many, each doing precisely what it was built to do. Which weapon surprised you the most? Drop it in the comments below. Subscribe for more in-depth breakdowns of modern military systems. New videos every week. Thanks for watching.